back. It's another Wednesday night, another Wednesday, April 13th. Too Smart for Me podcast with your one of a kind host. And we got two special guests with us. And I want to thank my guy, Mike Tru. What up, Mike Tru? Thanks for showing up.
Hello,
Thanks for
hello.
being a part of it. It's his first time on the show.
Yes, sir.
Fresh blood.
hmm
Yeah. And we got Marley Marl. She's back. Y'all know her. She's back though.
The other way.
Right. There we go. Yeah.
I give up.
Exactly. Crisscross, applesauce, all that. We don't know what we pointing at. How everybody doing on this Wednesday night?
Awesomeness.
Y'all
What
not
up?
y'all
What up?
not,
What up? We good. We good. Let's get it. Yes,
Real good.
indeed.
I love it. You guys are so great.
That's right.
Y'all not-
That's right.
y'all not doing the Kyrie. Y'all not
Ooh.
y'all not doing the Ramadan, the fasting.
I'm doing
Oh,
it. Drink
yeah,
it down.
Ramadan.
What you got in that cup over there?
I gave up beer for Lent.
I gave up alcohol. I'm drinking wine.
Okay. Well, I have some rum, some bamboo.
I gave up alcohol. I'm drinking
I
wine.
know, exactly.
Wow.
Okay, well maybe I meant to say liquor.
Wine is still liquor.
Look, Mike.
Wine
Tru,
is
like,
wine, liquor is liquor, and beer
I
is
don't-
beer.
Is there a liquor percentage in that wine?
Exactly.
Ah.
So
What are the-
One shot of alcohol is the equivalent of 5 ounces of wine.
Well, I failed science class, so I'm not trying to hear that.
So right now I'm taking a shot.
Bill Nye, the science guy,
Bill
disagrees
Nye.
with you.
You calling BS?
Yeah, I
No,
know.
I'm a bartender. I know
does
what
Bill
I'm
Nye
talking
say?
about.
Yeah, but my fasting is gonna be over by Easter. Soon as Easter, I crack me open a nice cold beer.
And that's in what,
Drink
5
it.
days?
Oh man, the
5
sound
days.
effects though.
What'd you say?
I said the sound effects of that cracking open that beer. It was on point.
Very dramatic. Very dramatic.
Right.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Well, yesterday was the start of the play-in tourney. We had 2 games yesterday and got a couple games today. One just ended actually, and one just started. But y'all know all 4 of us are from Cleveland,
The
so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Yeah, yesterday was disappointing. My my Clevelanders. Yesterday was disappointing, but it was the result that I expected nonetheless. But what y'all think of that? What y'all think of that playoff game? What was your takeaways from what happened? Mike Tru, you the special guest, first time. Give me your take on that Cavs Brooklyn game.
Okay, so I won't lie, I was with the wife for a minute, so I only seen mostly the second half of the whole game. But
Okay.
from the second half that I did see, wasn't playing no defense. We understand that Kyrie is a uber talent. We understand that he's a very, very great player. I think he missed 3 shots the whole game.
Yeah.
And when we got to the paint, I feel like the communication wasn't there for our team because there were a lot of open dunks. And I feel like that's unacceptable in the playoffs because the whole court gets smaller, everything. But it just seemed like the paint was atrocious. It was atrocious. And I feel like the guys weren't locked in. I feel like some were and others weren't. I mean, it might be jitters their first time playing, things like that. But for Kyrie to have 30 plus and 10 plus assists is unacceptable, in my opinion. That's just me.
I get it. I definitely understand. To piggyback off what you said, it was I don't know what the game plan was defensively. Like they dropped into zone a couple times on them. But I know it's hard to guard both Kyrie and KD, but it's like you gotta take something away or attempt to take something away. And
Got to.
Kyrie and KD, they both got off. And you just can't have that. You know, you got to have some scheme or strategy out there where you trying to like let Kyrie go for 50 or let KD go for 50, something of that nature, where you trying to attack the other, like kind of like what Detroit did to the Lakers back when they beat the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe Lakers. They was like,
Mhm.
we gonna let Shaq go off, but they took Kobe away. So it's just something similar to that. But Darius Garland showed that he not scared of the big stage. Um, Kevin Love and Rondo did great, the wily veterans. But it was the other young guys like a Curl, he wasn't ready. Um, Stevens, he wasn't ready. Evan Mobley did what he had to do, but I think he got into foul trouble a little bit too. Um, but the biggest disappointment, let's be real, it was Levert. It was
Yeah.
Levert because we traded for him to try to fill in that need with Sexton being out. So he was a big disappointment. But that's all I really have. And I'm gonna just give y'all this gem before we even go to the past this game. Atlanta beat Charlotte tonight, which means Atlanta be coming to Cleveland. Sorry to tell y'all, the Cavs gonna lose that game too. But all right, Marley Marl, you go ahead and you give me your little 2 cents on this game.
My 2 cents.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to look at the positive part. Yes, they've never been to the playoffs before. It was new. You expect a little jitters, a little nervousness, not playing defense, missing dunks and things of that nature. But I thought that in the second half that they tried to get it back together because they were down 20 and it ended up only being a 4-point game. So I was looking at it that way. The woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like if it was not a 20-point deficit, we would have won that game. But it still was the outcome that I expected, especially not having Jared Allen. So I think if we have our full complement, we're a force to be reckoned with. But everybody, the injury bug is something you got to deal with in the playoffs. So you can't talk about woulda, coulda, shoulda. I just was trying to look at it like, well, it ended up only being a 4-point deficit. They tried to pull it together. So that was my takeaway from it.
All right, BJ.
Well,
Here he comes.
Dun, dun, dun.
I got a different take on it in the sense of obviously we couldn't make baskets early on. But our defense on Kyrie was actually on point. He just wouldn't miss. Even listen, every point he shot in that first half was contested. He just made the basket. Even the one he hit before the half, Markkanen was on him. It was good defense. He had a contested shot. It was just ridiculous. So I hate to say it was our defense. One of the other shots he hit from the corner was a jab step 3 with a taller player on it, and he still hit it. So the guy was there. It was just so I just think it was just a great night by Kyrie Irving as opposed to us not playing defense. Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like we played great defense. But what I will say is one problem I did have with our defense, it was on Bruce Brown. What we did on Bruce Brown, it looked like we were daring him to shoot. So we played so far back off of him that he was like, oh, well, I'm just going to run into the paint, which caused the breakdown in our defense because a person like, I think it was Osman. I was sitting up there like, yo, he's got to get closer. He's got to get closer. And sure enough, he didn't. Bruce Brown cut to the basket. Now CD Osman is in chase mode. So the help defense has to come. Brown gets the basket, dishes it out to somebody wide open. They hit the open shot. This is why Bruce Brown, who's normally not a guy that gets you 10 assists, had damn near 10 assists because of our defensive rotations, leaving him wide open. I understand he's not a shooter, but you can't leave him that wide open. It was just bad adjustments on that. C.D. Osman, you had no, or I don't know if it was C.D. Osman one time or whoever had him in the corner.
Jetty Osman, Jetty.
Oh, what I say?
His C is silent. His name is Jetty.
Jetty, whatever. Osman.
I thought we drafted a new player.
Yeah, my bad. So it was just bad defensive rotations on that. You cannot let him get 8 assists. And the reason he was getting 8 assists is just what I just explained. Secondly, it came down to clutch time. And in the clutch time, I always tell you guys, you have a 4, 5, 3-star players. And when they needed it most, Kevin Durant, the 5-star player, hit big buckets, and we couldn't.
So what is Kyrie?
Oh, Kyrie's a 4, definitely. Kyrie's a 4. There was a play right there that you just saw with I think Bruce Brown wide open. But Kyrie's a 4-star player, obviously. But 5 stars MVP level, you got to be close to MVP, one of the best players type in the game, and all that good stuff. You get that. My other take on this was, again, if Kyrie shoots a normal percentage, yeah, maybe Kevin Durant has to step up a little bit, but I think we're in this game. The fact that he was perfect damn near in the first half.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but we clawed our way back. I know, right? Charles, who is CD?
I said I thought we drafted a new player.
Yeah, I know who I was talking about.
CD. Wait, Charlotte May. CD Lamb. That's who he was talking about.
CD Lamb, exactly.
Why aren't you on here with us?
So,
you need a break.
All, we did a decent job. I just think the young nerves got to him, and obviously we definitely missed Allen out there to help with those defensive rotations.
Absolutely.
As far as prediction for the next game,
go ahead.
Let me see if
I think we're taking it. We're going
I
to
do
the
too.
playoffs. We're going to the playoffs.
Old school rise up. Third. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Rise up from 2007.
Wow.
I think it was 2007. I think we're going to, because of this one game that we lost, I think we go in with a better attitude, a better sense of urgency.
Well, it's going to be helpful that we're home.
Defensive rotations. And I think
we're at home.
We pull off the upset.
There it is.
Cavs,
we're going to the playoffs.
We are going to the playoffs. You heard it from me first.
We heard it from DJ.
Miami, here we come.
One more thing before we move on. Also, Cavs had a lot of turnovers and mistakes early in the offense. Where we had a stretch like in the second quarter, Brooklyn went like when Kyrie and KD were both out. They had a stretch where they were like 3 for 12, but the Cavs kept turning the ball over, so we couldn't make up that ground. Correct. Like we did make up ground slowly through the next 3 quarters in total.
They went colorblind. They couldn't tell the jersey colors.
Yeah, that's what happened. But all right. So now that we got that out the way, we'll do one more matchup before we end this video. And I want to go to Boston and Brooklyn, since we just talked about them beating us. So since Brooklyn beat the Cavs, they are now slated to face the Celtics, 2 versus 7. You got Tatum and Brown, and you got Kyrie and KD. Man. So, off the cuff, give me your thoughts, give me predictions. Who wins the series and how many games? Ladies first.
Of course, you tell me to go first while I'm sitting.
Yeah, gotta get you.
Yeah, I'm like thinking. Okay, my first thought was that it's gonna go 7 games, but Boston is gonna win.
Why?
Yeah,
Why is
why?
Boston going to win?
Uh-huh.
Well, I just feel like that if Brooklyn had home court, I think home court is what's going to pull it off. I think somehow both teams are going to win one away, but on game 7, since it's in Boston, Boston is going to pull it off. I don't think it has anything necessarily. I mean, yeah, you can talk about matchups, but I think that in the end, it's going to go 7, and it's going to be in Boston, and they're going to pull it out at the end. One of them, you're sitting on the edge of your seats, like, oh, what's going to happen? And it's going to be Boston.
Okay. Mike Tru, go ahead. I saw you raise your hand.
Okay, so I'm split on this because I feel like it depends on Robert Williams. I feel like he's really.
Isn't he?
They said there's a chance he might be back.
Oh, okay.
So
He might, he might be back.
So for
So is
me,
Ben Simmons, right?
Whoa, got a good point there.
Forgot to ask about that.
He's supposed to be.
They just got personal. They just got personal.
Right in here. I will say the Nets win in 7.
Okay.
And I'm only going to say this due to star power. Now, granted, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are really good players, but I feel like for some reason the Nets have been gelling closer to the end of the season, and I just feel like they got enough just to get past the Celtics. I feel like they got a rookie coach who has done marvelous the second half of the season. Well, not in the second half, most of the season, besides the first 20 games or so. I feel like KD and Kyrie just gonna pull it out somehow, some way. I don't have a good explanation for it, but it's my gut feeling at this time. That's my gut feeling. But Robert Williams, I will say, if he can play 3-4 of these games that's in this series, I might lean the Celtics. But right now, I'm going with the Nets.
Okay.
But we both agree that it's going to go 7.
It's going to go 7. Yes, I do.
Okay. So I agree with you too. It's going to be a 6 or a 7 game series because it's going to be 6 or 7. But here is why I'm going with the Celtics. Since New Year's Day, the Celtics have, I think, the second best record in basketball.
Yeah.
They went and they were blowing teams out. It wasn't they were winning close games. No, they were blowing teams out. Like, I don't know if they all got together and kumbaya and had a New Year's resolution moment, but man, they just turned it on after the New Year. It's crazy how legit they've been. But to Mike True's point, Robert Williams is a big key. He's the defensive anchor. And he helps affect shots in the paint and things of that nature. But it's hard to count out KD and Kyrie, but I just don't believe in the Nets, their defense at all. I feel like Tatum and Brown are going to have their way. I just do. I feel like they're going to have their way. And KD, so Bruce Brown is going to guard one of the two, right? Brown or Tatum. But then KD is going to have to guard. So now he's going to have to expend energy on both ends.
Right.
So I think that's going to affect the series long term. But I'm just going with the Celtics to squeak this out in 6 or 7 games. It's going to be a hard fought series though. But I like the Celtics coach better. I like their defense better, and I like their depth better. So I'm going with the Celtics.
Hey, you took the words right out of my mouth. I can't add to that. I was just going to say the problem with the Nets is their defensive efficiency is awful. We all know that. They're not a great defensive team. And this series, they're going to have to play some tough defense. And they're going to have to their rotations have to be great, which I don't, like you were saying, I don't trust their head coach to put in the right rotations. I don't trust that Kyrie will expend the effort defensively as well. He could, like you said, he went perfect with the Cavs, but now he's going to have to run after players. Now he's going to have to, when their defense have breakdown in their defensive rotation.
And guess who's going to be guarding Kyrie, though? I didn't even bring that up.
Who?
Yep.
Marcus Smart.
Oh, Marcus Smart.
Yeah. He's going to be first team all defense.
Yeah. So, I just think what they're going to have to spend on the defensive side of the ball and what they're going to have to do to work just to get their offensive points. It won't be, unless, don't get me wrong, he is a star. But it's going to be real hard for Kyrie to go perfect in the first half with a Boston defense. So I just
stop saying that. You keep bringing up old stuff.
I just think their defense, they're just not going to have enough time together defensively to really match up with Boston. So I'm going with you guys. I think Boston wins, but they got to do it in 6.
I got a question.
They have to do it in 6. I actually believe if it gets to a game 7, this dude Kevin Durant, he could go for 60.
That's fair.
That win out, and I just don't trust a game 7 when, as Stephen A. Smith would say, when palms get sweaty and backsides get tight. I don't know if Boston can do it, so I'm going Boston.
I believe in Tatum in the big game.
I don't know, so I'm going with Boston in 6. I don't think it goes 7.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, that's fair. I ain't mad at that at all.